it happened. We've just witnessed the biggest supermoon of this year. And now, the consequences are here. That wasn't just another full moon. It was the final and biggest supermoon of 2025, the one that closes the year, stamps it, and makes sure you don't go back to who you were even 2 days ago. This is the moment where your body knows before your mind catches up, and the spiritually attuned people are already feeling the symptoms. Your brain is sharper, but your mouth is quieter. That's not withdrawal. That's precision. You're observing more than you ever say. You're catching things in seconds that used to take you hours. Little details, hidden motives, emotional shifts. You're processing them instantly. And the wild part? You don't feel the need to explain yourself anymore. You speak less because you finally understand more. This is the kind of shift where silence becomes power. People listen when you talk now because they can feel you only speak when it matters. But this mental sharpness, it comes with another side effect, one most people don't realize until it hits them all at once. You're present, but it feels like you're dreaming. That's because reality lagged behind your frequency. After a supermoon this powerful, the world around you doesn't update instantly to match your new internal state. So today, there's a strange in-between feeling, like you're living in a version of reality that hasn't fully caught up to who you became last night. Everything looks the same, but nothing feels the same. You're fully awake, but there's this surreal softness to the day, like you're walking through a memory instead of a moment. You might catch yourself zoning out mid-conversation, not because you're tired, but because the words entering your ears feel too slow for the speed of your mind. You're listening, but a part of you is observing from the outside, like you're watching yourself play a role you're no longer attached to. Even hearing your own voice might feel strange, almost like an echo of a previous version of you, one you've already stepped out of. This sensation isn't randomness. It's what happens when your awareness evolves faster than your physical environment. Your soul already shifted into a frequency that sees things differently, reacts differently, processes differently, but the world around you is still functioning at the pace you were in before the supermoon hit. That mismatch creates what feels like a soft desynchronization, the sense of being here, but not fully anchored. You might be walking, but it feels like the ground is slightly delayed beneath your feet. You might look at your surroundings, but everything feels a few frames behind. You might interact with people, but their reactions seem slower, like your mind is running on a different clock. This isn't negative. It's an indicator that your internal upgrade moved faster than your outer circumstances. Think of it like your soul sprinted and your life is jogging behind, trying to catch up. And until it does, you're going to feel a strange combination of clarity and distance, like you're watching your own life with a sharper lens than you've ever used before. But here's the good part. This disconnection is temporary, and it's a sign of alignment, not imbalance. It means your perception sharpened overnight, and your reality is rearranging itself to match it. And once everything snaps back into sync, you'll notice a new wave of symptoms, the physical kind, showing up in ways people rarely talk about. You bounce back quicker, you heal faster, you're not fragile anymore. One of the most surprising aftershocks of this supermoon is happening inside your physical body, and most people don't even realize it's connected. You may notice that things that used to take days to recover from are now clearing in a fraction of the time. That soreness you expected to feel all week, you woke up and it was practically gone. The cold you felt coming on, the headache, the heaviness, the pressure, somehow never became a full collapse. And even emotionally, something shifted. A conversation that would have broken your mood for days barely dented you this time. This isn't random luck or placebo. This is what happens when your system suddenly stops leaking energy into things you no longer resonate with. When your emotional load gets lighter, the body reallocates that energy back into healing, repairing, and stabilizing you. That's why your recovery feels faster. Your cells aren't clogged by stress responses anymore. They're running cleaner, smoother, and more efficiently than they have in a long time. The supermoon acted like a purifier for your internal environment. Not in a mystical, cliché way, but in a practical sense. When emotional tension dissolves, inflammation drops. When you stop forcing yourself into draining situations, your nervous system shifts out of survival mode. When your mind stops spinning, your body stops compensating. It's like everything inside you finally had the space to catch its breath. You might notice little things. Your digestion feels easier, your muscles feel less tight, your breathing feels deeper. You might notice you're sleeping slightly better, or waking up with more clarity instead of heaviness. You might even find your reactions to stress are more controlled, not because you're suppressing anything, but because your system isn't overloaded anymore. And that resilience you're feeling, that's real. Your bounce-back time is shrinking because your energy is no longer scattered. Your healing is faster because your body isn't fighting your emotions at the same time. This is the physical benefit of shedding emotional weight you didn't even know you were carrying. The supermoon didn't just elevate your mind, it cleaned the static out of your whole system. And the more days that pass after this moon, the more you're going to notice how different your body feels when it's not dragging around old tension disguised as fatigue. You're not antisocial. You're allergic to fake energy right now. The biggest and last supermoon of 2025 didn't just shift your inner world, it wiped out your tolerance for anything that feels forced, shallow, or energetically off. Suddenly, the people you used to deal with easily feel heavier, louder, or strangely irritating. Your body isn't malfunctioning, it's filtering. You're feeling tension around certain people without them doing anything wrong, and you're wanting to cancel plans without being able to explain it. It isn't misanthropy, it isn't moodiness. This is your system refusing to waste energy on dead-frequency interactions. The supermoon didn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminated everyone's motives, behaviors, and intentions with a level of clarity you can't turn off. It erased the buffer zone you used to have between yourself and inauthenticity, and now your spirit reacts instantly to anything that doesn't match where you're going. You're not pushing people away. You're becoming sensitive to the difference between connection and noise. And the more you notice it, the more something else starts happening beneath the surface, something even stranger than this social shift. You're not crazy. Your gut is reacting to moon-coded stress. The gut is one of the first places this supermoon hit, and that's why your appetite has been behaving like it has a mind of its own. This wasn't just a bright moon in the sky. This was the biggest and final supermoon of 2025, the one with enough gravitational force to pull ocean tides and human instincts at the same time. Your gut doesn't respond with logic, it responds with survival patterns. And after a moon this strong, the gut goes into its own version of stabilize now, understand later. That's why so many people are noticing bizarre eating patterns right now. 1 minute, you're craving heavy meals out of nowhere, foods you usually avoid, foods that feel grounding, comforting, dense. It's your body searching for something that can anchor you into the physical world after being overstimulated emotionally, mentally, and energetically. You feel calm while eating, not because of the food itself, but because your body finally feels like it's holding on to something solid. Then suddenly, the pattern flips. You wake up and nothing sounds good. Not your usual meals, not your favorite snacks, not even the food you ate last night. It's like your entire appetite just vanished without warning. You're not sick. You're not overwhelmed. Your gut simply shifted gears faster than your mind could catch on to. After a lunar event this intense, the digestive system slows down as a way of rebooting your equilibrium. People often underestimate how deeply the gut reacts to stress, not emotional stress, but environmental stress. And a supermoon of this magnitude counts as environmental stress. The gut is tied to instinct, and instinct is tied to survival. When that instinct senses pressure, your hunger cues get scrambled. That's why some people feel like they want to eat everything in sight just to stay grounded, while others feel a sudden aversion to food altogether. Even the bloating or stomach discomfort from normal meals is part of the same pattern. Your digestive system is trying to balance itself after a massive energetic surge, and you're feeling the leftover tension in the form of sensitivity. Your body is literally deciding what feels stabilizing and what feels draining, and right now, it's switching rapidly between the two. This is temporary, but it's also revealing. When the gut reacts this strongly, it means the shift wasn't just emotional or spiritual, it was physiological. And when a shift hits the physical layer, it means something deeper is about to emerge next. You're not uncoordinated. You're recalibrating to a new rhythm. The physical clumsiness happening right now isn't just random. It's one of the most fascinating and overlooked signs that the supermoon didn't just influence your emotions, it touched your internal rhythm. People everywhere are dropping their keys, misjudging door frames, bumping into tables, or tripping on floors they walk on every single day. And while it might seem like simple tiredness, the truth is more interesting. Your mind and your body are temporarily operating on two different speeds. During a supermoon this big, your awareness sharpens first. Your senses start processing information faster than usual. You catch details, movements, expressions, and subtle cues without effort because your brain is in a heightened observational state. But your reflexes and muscle memory don't adjust at the same pace. That creates a tiny delay, just a fraction of a second. But it's enough to make you drop things you normally wouldn't. It's enough to make your hand reach slightly off target or cause you to take a half step too far. This is what happens when your nervous system is resyncing after being pushed into high alert. It's not anxiety, it's not carelessness, it's your internal balance being reorganized. The supermoon increased your inner sensitivity, and now your physical coordination is catching up to match the new level of awareness. The body is recalibrating to a rhythm it didn't have yesterday. Some people experience this clumsiness more intensely around certain environments or around certain people. That's because the supermoon also heightened your sensory intake. When you walk into a crowded or energetically chaotic space, your mind absorbs more information than usual, and your body becomes overwhelmed trying to process it all. The result is those small physical slips that feel uncharacteristic. You might also notice moments where you're reaching for something and your hand feels slightly off, or you turn too quickly and bump into the edge of a doorway. These aren't accidents. They're signals that your nervous system is still stabilizing after the lunar peak. Your mind is ahead of your body, and the body is just now learning how to move at the frequency your awareness jumped to overnight. This phase ends on its own, but while it's happening, it's proof that the shift went deeper than surface energy. Your physical layer has been pulled into the upgrade. And when the body finally synchronizes with everything else, a completely different set of effects begins. The kind that don't show up in your steps or your appetite, but in the way reality responds to you. Just like beavers fortify their homes before winter, your soul is stockpiling unseen resources. The Beaver moon has always carried a very specific instinctual frequency, but this year it hit completely differently. Not because of symbolism, not because of folklore, but because this was the largest and final supermoon of 2025, and that combination pulled something out of you that you didn't consciously authorize. It activated a deep survival intelligence that doesn't rely on logic, planning, or willpower. It relies on instinct. That's why you haven't felt like yourself these last 24 to 48 hours. You're not lazy, unmotivated, or falling off track. You're doing something far more primal. You're conserving energy for something you can't see yet. Beavers don't wait for winter to arrive before preparing. They build, reinforce, gather, and adjust before they even have proof of what's coming. Your spirit is doing the exact same thing. You may have noticed a desire to be alone, even though you weren't upset with anyone. You may have found yourself cleaning random things, reorganizing your space, deleting old messages, avoiding conversations, or losing interest in distractions that used to consume your time. Even if your body felt tired or slow, your inner world was working non-stop, sorting, discarding, reprioritizing. And here's the thing most people won't understand. This level of preparation doesn't feel productive. It feels quiet. It feels like fatigue. It feels like emotional flatness. It feels like your mind is buffering, when in reality, it's redirecting you. The Beaver moon energy isn't about action, it's about fortification. It's about securing emotional stability, mental clarity, and spiritual resilience before a new cycle starts. People underestimate how much internal restructuring you've done in the last 48 hours. Your boundaries tightened without you deciding to tighten them. Your tolerance for nonsense shrank without you consciously pushing it away. Your priorities rearranged themselves without you sitting down to make a plan. This is what subconscious recalibration looks like when a supermoon amplifies it, and when this instinctive preparation mixes with the fact that a new year cycle is approaching, especially one that carries a completely different energetic tone. Your spirit starts making choices you don't fully understand until much later. This is why you feel distant from old habits. This is why you feel oddly protective of your peace. This is why certain people suddenly drain you more than usual. You're fortifying your inner world ahead of a shift you haven't stepped into yet. You're not preparing for a problem, you're preparing for an upgrade. And the deeper that shift goes, the more intense the after effects become. You weren't meant to stay centered, you were meant to wake up. What you felt last night wasn't just emotional intensity, it was a recalibration so deep that it shook your inner framework the way an earthquake shifts the ground. A normal full moon brings things to the surface, but a supermoon of this size, the biggest of the entire year, doesn't just surface things, it breaks the surface. It destabilizes whatever was built on shaky foundations, and it forces a version of honesty most people avoid all year. This is why today feels off. It's why you feel heavier in your body but lighter in your mind. It's why you feel overstimulated and drained at the same time. It's why your emotions are doing that strange thing where nothing is wrong, but nothing feels stable either. The moon didn't balance you. It interrupted your rhythm on purpose. It wasn't supposed to leave you calm. It was supposed to leave you awake. Think of it like this. For months, your energy has been layered, compacted, pushed aside, or held down because life demanded functioning, not feeling. This supermoon ripped open those layers all at once, exposing parts of you that were running on autopilot. That's why today, your senses feel sharper, but your emotions feel raw. That's why conversations feel too loud, decisions feel too heavy, and your body feels strangely fragile even if you've done nothing out of the ordinary. This isn't regression. This is expansion with the volume turned up. Your soul surged forward, and your physical reality hasn't caught up yet. Integration after a supermoon like this doesn't happen instantly. It happens in slow waves. The mind adjusts first, then the emotions, then the physical body. That lag creates the feeling of being off, like you don't fit into the day correctly. But here's the part most people don't realize. Feeling unbalanced right now means the shift hit exactly where it needed to. If you feel emotional or sensitive, that's your intuition waking back up. If you feel strangely aware of things you used to overlook, that's clarity rising. This was a soul-level earthquake, and earthquakes aren't tidy. They're disruptive, loud, messy, and transformative. And once the dust settles, you start to see what remains, what fell apart, and what is finally ready to rebuild. Give yourself a few days. Your system is recalibrating into a stronger version of you. What comes after this integration is sharper intuition, clearer direction, a more powerful sense of self, and the kind of confidence that doesn't need loudness to be felt. You're not supposed to feel normal right now. You're supposed to feel new because something in you is rising that wasn't awake before. There's something happening right now that almost no one talks about, but everyone who's sensitive can feel. This deep, unexplainable urge to step back from the world without giving anyone a reason. And what makes it even more interesting is that the urge doesn't come with guilt. It doesn't come with a story attached. It comes with a strange kind of certainty, a knowing that being quiet, being unavailable, being unreachable for a moment is exactly what you need. This is the aftershock of the biggest supermoon of 2025. When a lunar event hits this hard, it doesn't just amplify emotions or stir up restlessness. It activates a protective instinct inside you, the instinct to pull your energy inward before something important shifts. Not to isolate, but to recenter, not to escape, but to preserve the version of you that's forming right now. This isn't social burnout. It's not frustration. It's not antisocial behavior. What you're feeling is the need to retreat so your spirit can reorganize itself without interruption. Sacred withdrawal might sound dramatic, but that's exactly what it is. Think of it like your system pulling the blinds shut so it can rearrange the furniture without anyone watching. Everything is being repositioned. Your clarity, your boundaries, your priorities, your sense of direction, and your spirit knows it can't do that while you're in the middle of everyone else's noise. You may notice that people feel heavier than usual, even the ones you love. Conversations feel draining instead of comforting. Social expectations feel loud, almost intrusive, as if they no longer fit who you are anymore. And the odd part is that you don't even have the desire to explain this to anyone. The explanation would ruin the feeling you're trying to protect. This is why disappearing feels right. You're not fading out. You're pulling back into yourself because the inner shift is too fragile to expose to the outside world yet. This is the chrysalis phase, the moment right before something crystallizes inside you. And here's the part most people don't notice until later. This withdrawal isn't emptiness, it's preparation. Something is sharpening underneath the silence. Something is becoming louder internally, even as you speak less externally. And the first sign of that inner sharpening is about to become impossible to ignore. The biggest supermoon of 2025 did something subtle but powerful. It cleared out the emotional noise that usually clouds your inner guidance. What's left now is intuition without the fog. Not heightened, not symbolic, not vague, but precision intuition, the kind that feels like a direct line to truth. This is the intuition where answers show up before questions form fully. The intuition where your gut responds instantly, without negotiation. When the emotional static clears, intuition becomes a straight signal. And right now, that signal is cleaner than it has been in a long time. You may notice this showing up in surprising ways. A person speaks, and you understand their intention before their sentence ends. A situation presents itself, and you already know if it's for you or not, without needing to make pros and cons lists or run it by 5 different people. You can sense whether something is aligned or off in microseconds. You feel the truth first, and the reasoning comes later, if it even needs to come at all. This kind of clarity only happens when a major energetic event forces the emotional body to purge. The supermoon acted like a floodlight, burning off indecision, emotional attachments, and outdated stories that used to cloud your choices. The result is a decision-making ability that feels almost unnervingly sharp. No hesitation, no wobble, no second-guessing. Just a quiet certainty that feels like it bypasses your mind altogether. You might also notice that your internal no is becoming immediate. You don't need a reason to decline something or walk away. The feeling itself is enough, and your internal yes feels just as immediate. When something is right, you feel it in your chest, your stomach, your skin, without having to think it through. This is not random. It's the natural outcome of having emotional static flushed out of your system. When the static is gone, your intuition stops sounding like a whisper you have to strain to hear. It becomes a frequency you can't ignore, cutting straight through the surface of everything, and the more you trust it, the faster your life starts reorganizing around it. And now that your intuition has sharpened to this level, it begins unlocking something else. A clarity that doesn't just tell you what's happening, but what needs to happen next. There's a moment after every major transformation where the mind goes quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because something important is being decided internally. That's exactly where you are right now. After the biggest and last supermoon of 2025, you're making a shift that isn't dramatic, performative, or loud. It's an internal recalibration that feels like a truth rising from somewhere you can't quite locate, but you can feel it changing you. This supermoon marked the end of a long cycle, not just cosmically, but personally. And what people are realizing today is that they've outgrown parts of themselves they didn't know were outdated. It's the sudden awareness that you're done entertaining situations that drain you. You're done accepting connections that don't reciprocate. You're done shrinking just to keep the peace. And the most powerful part is that you're not trying to force any of this. It's just happening naturally. There's a private vow forming, one that you didn't consciously choose, but one that emerged the moment the supermoon reached its peak. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.